Hello, everybody. Good evening. How are you guys doing tonight? Let's go. All right. I can see some citizens from Trading Republic tuning in tonight. So we've got Ferdinand Batol, Jay Jumena. Again. So we've got April Pulido, Alan Serenila. Hello, Martians. Hello, co-Martians. Let's go wag me. Hi, Hannah. All right. How are you guys doing? I hope that you guys are all safe from the typhoon and that everyone's having a great night. Tonight we have a very special AMA session. And my name is Lizelle. If this is your first session tuning in to one of ZFT's special NFT exclusives, I'm one of the guild leaders in ZFT and a member of ZFT's NFT Mavericks. Okay, so now we all know that NFTs has been dominating our social feeds and mainstream media lately, and I won't be surprised because our country has a very active gaming and streaming community, with over 30 million online gamers recorded as of 2020. How is that, guys? Right? Can you type hashtag WAGME on the comment section if you already own an NFT or looking into investing in an NFT? Let's go. All right. Okay. So NFTs playing to earn games have taken the country by storm and are still continuing to rapidly grow. So before we dig deeper into NFT discussions, just a disclaimer, all the information here is for general informational and educational purposes only. This is not a financial advice, and getting into NFTs or alternative cryptocurrencies is extremely volatile. So please do your own research and never risk more than what you can afford to lose. Okay. All right. So we have seen all sorts of gaming themes, right? We have seen all sorts of narratives out there. There are colony and space projects, but there is one that I think appeals to those who dreams of getting to Mars. And it is just a dream for many and almost a reality for a very few. Um, but hello everybody. Okay. But we are very, very excited because someone is going to grace our screens tonight. And if you're already part of the ZFT universe, help me welcome our very special guest. Okay. So we are so excited to get the privilege to do an exclusive interview with no other than the founder of one of the hottest new blockchain games on Wax, Hunter of Colonize Mars.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, Hunter. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to talk to everyone today.
No, thanks for giving us the opportunity to actually have an exclusive interview with you. And I think is it actually afternoon where you are right now?
It's actually morning, so it's
Oh,
Saturday
morning.
morning for me. I'm drinking my coffee right now, so
That's
um,
good. We
yeah,
need to be caffeinated and ready for the day. So good morning to you, Hunter.
yeah.
Um, it has been an awesome year for your team at Colonize Mars. And personally, I have been following your project since early this year. And of course, our community has been following you as well. And we have seen all the progress and the delivery of your roadmap. And can we just say that it is really impressive? The artwork is beautiful and amazing. And Wax blockchain games just keep on looking better and better. And I would be biased to say that one of the catalysts for that, I would say, would be Colonize Mars. Your project has just generated not just sales, but I feel like a lot of followers within the first 6 months of your release. So what is the reason why you started this project?
Yeah, and thank you. I appreciate the compliment about the artwork. Um, so really, the vision is to catalyze the will of humanity to become multiplanetary. So with that, we really want to inspire people to become explorers and pioneers of the final frontier. So that's really why we spend so much time visualizing what we believe Mars could be, designing items with real aerospace technology. We have aerospace advisors on the team helping us design in situ resource utilization and
Mhm.
environmental control and life support. some of our agriculture systems, thermodynamics. So we're kind of modeling all of that in the hopes that people can really be inspired and immersed inside of what Mars could be like. And so yeah, that's really the reason we started it. We want to um, show people kind of what a second home for humanity could look like, and there's some really cool ways to apply blockchain and gaming to that concept, and that's really what we
Mhm.
are working on, and what we're excited to continue working on in the coming years.
So would you say that actually that's part of the long-term vision, apart from educating, um, not just gamers, but really literally everyone in general, right, on how it can be sustainable to live in Mars? But what would you say is Colonize Mars long-term vision?
Yeah, so I think the long-term vision is to actually like contribute to the mission of going to Mars. So
Mm,
using the designs that we have that we're creating in this virtual world to help inform physical designs. We also kind of have the ambition of modeling decisions that players will make in the game around what astronauts would actually make when they're going to Mars, in the hopes to kind of inform future decisions on how a base would be determined, what governance
mm,
model to use on Mars, what currency to use on Mars, because a simulation that is involving real people making decisions, even in a virtual world, can be useful when making decisions for Mars in the future. So that's also a very unique part of what we're doing. It's a
yeah.
persistent simulation. So instead of
Mm,
going in, playing a game, and winning, what we're doing is modeling every mission over time. And so players that come in, they can play the game from that point onward, but it's all persistent. So really similar to how Earth to Mars missions would go. So at some point in the future, we'll launch rocket ships for real to Mars, and then from that point forward, it's all about figuring out how to grow a small Mars base into a self-sustaining city, how to get more specialized astronauts to the surface, more specialized equipment, and so we want to kind of demonstrate that and show that over time, and have the decisions of players and advisors kind of working together to figure out how we can really make something that's thriving on the surface of Mars.
well, that's right. And you mentioned about missions, right? So speaking of missions, Mission Tree is almost here, right? And on your own website, Mission Tree brings new item types to the colony, and things that can actually help generate power, produce food, explore communications and healthcare and stuff like that. What are you most excited about Mission Tree?
I think that it's always fun to see the map expand, new equipment coming to Mars. We spent a lot of time designing the payload, and you're totally right. There's equipment around power systems, medical equipment. There's two new astronaut types that are specializations that are coming. So we have botanists coming that are going to help maintain some of the greenhouses, and then we have doctors coming that are going to be on standby for life support. We have our first 3D printed structure that's coming to Mars. So 3D printing will be a really key technology for any sort of Martian city, because it costs a lot of money to get payload from Earth to Mars. So the more that you can design and create on the surface, the better. So we have a lot more plans for utilizing that technology in the future. And the story for Mission 3 is, now that we've experimented with two missions, figured out some of the technology that works on Mars, some of the stuff that doesn't work, we're now solidifying and creating our first permanent structure. And so it's a really exciting moment in the development of the city on Mars. And for Mission 3, there's going to be 11 new item types. And the way that that works is we have 5 base rarity cards in our deck, and each rarity kind of has different times of day on Mars in the background, which gives it its color. So our standard rarity is like daytime on Mars. Our shadow or uncommon rarity is nighttime on Mars. the stainless steel version is actually sunset. So sunrise and sunset on Mars is
Oh,
actually more of a blue tone, which is pretty cool. On Earth, obviously, it's more orange and yellows, but
yeah,
on Mars, it's actually more blue. So we pulled that into the weather pattern on that card, and then the epic and legendary versions are different storms. So we have a dust storm and a lightning storm. So
yeah.
players will be able to collect all those different rarities across 11 new item types. And then we
Mhm.
have our super exclusive cards, which are ownership cards, and we also have sponsorship cards for astronauts. So we have 42 of those coming in this mission as well for players to collect.
42. Wow. And well, I've read that certain ownership cards, sponsorship cards, and other cards will only be obtainable through your crafting event. Can you tell us something about your exclusive Mission 3 crafting event?
Yeah, so this is something fun that we're gonna try out this time. And basically, there's a couple different ways to um, interact with Mission 3. There's our NFT sales, which are going to be through Mars.cards for half of it, and then Wax for the
Mhm.
other half. And we can probably get into that later. And then there will be this exclusive crafting event. So basically, what you do is you combine seven dark matter cards from Mission 1,
Mhm.
and then you can craft. There's three outcomes. You're guaranteed one of those outcomes. um, what the first outcome is, there's believe a 0.8% chance of an ownership card, and so there's 23 ownership cards that are exclusive to this crafting process. So that's a lot of ownership cards. It's almost,
That is
half
a
of
lot.
them for this mission. And so we hope people, craft and have fun with that. If you don't find the ownership card, you still get back seven dark matter cards or 24 gold cards. So it's kind of
Mhm.
a win-win-win.
Yeah,
And
100%. Yeah.
yeah, and our goal is to balance some of the quantities of cards across missions, because moving forward, one of the features, the gameplay features we're looking to implement next year, is called resources. And this is where there will be inputs and outputs that are specific to each card type. And it'll be a lot more of an enjoyable experience, we believe, if there's more of a baseline for the card values and rarities. And
Mhm.
those resources will kind of start introducing decision making and strategy for players.
That's a good one. You know, I we well the the rarity color coding actually sort of stuck with me as well whilst you're talking. And on art, I know that prior to this project, you were a creative engineer and a creative art director. So would you like to tell us something about the creative process with the CM team, and also maybe a little bit about the team structure? Because obviously the games economy and the simulation and data science behind development is really heavy, and you have to get it right. It has to be accurate, right? So I've heard in one of your interviews that you guys actually have an economist on the team.
Mhm.
So would you like to share a little bit, a sneak peek of what happens in the Colonize Mars team with regards to creative process and research?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things to highlight, which I think is really cool, is we have a very, very unique creative process in that we start with an architectural approach to all of our designs. So typically,
Mhm.
in the concept art, or when you're producing a creative vision or a visual project, you start with sketching, or you start with sort of more the concept art, or the creative wing. But we have a
Mhm.
very kind of design centric and architecture first approach. So we start with our architecture team. They have certain specifications that we work on with our aerospace advisors, and so they design, for instance, a new building for us using those specifications. The architects create a CAD model, basically a 3D model that represents the structure, the vehicle, or the building, and then we use that we run through another review phase with our aerospace advisors,
Mhm.
and they give feedback. Then once that's done, we hand the CAD model off to our 3D design team, and they are the ones that um, optimize the model for the game. They texture the model, make sure it looks really good, and
Mhm.
then at that point, we hand it off to our concept artists to render it, paint over it, and basically create the art that you see on the cards. So it's almost a backwards process for us, but
Yes.
it creates a very unique end result where a lot of it's as technically accurate as possible. So
That's
that's
right.
that's kind of the design process that we go through. And then in terms of the virtual economy and some of the other gameplay features, we have a full-time gameplay economist on the team. He's the one behind all of the amazing kind of ideas of the virtual economy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to figure out how to balance things, how to make sure that the
Can't
cards are.
imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So.
Yeah. So, well, okay. So talking about the economy, right? On your roadmap, it is said that early 2022, we will see the introduction of hazards.
Mhm.
Now, how important are the hazards for the gameplay?
Yeah, we think this will be a really fun thing to start with because it adds a dynamic element to the way that astronauts and players will make decisions. So
Mhm.
basically, random events will befall the colony, things like dust storms, Mars quakes, mechanical failures, and even astronauts might get sick. So these are things
Mm.
that when we go to Mars, initially, there's going to be a lot of survival. It's a
Yeah.
hostile environment, it's a new
Mhm.
environment, and the early missions will be really about figuring out how to live on this new planet. So we're kind of simulating that same part in the process. And so what will happen is these random events will befall the colony. Different card types will be affected in different ways. So, for instance, solar panels will be more affected by dust storms because dust on top of a solar panel will make it a lot less efficient. But
Right.
perhaps dust won't affect vehicles quite as much. Sickness wouldn't affect mechanical items, but mechanical failures will only affect certain items as well. So
Mhm.
players will need to strategize on what decks they want to build and how they want to utilize their time to prevent certain hazards. And then there will also be kind of decision making processes. Do you want to go with owners who maybe are less responsive in repairing a hazard, but maybe charge lower fees, or do you want to go with
Mhm.
supporting an owner that has higher fees and is very responsive in maintaining
Yeah.
items? So it'll kind of be a community aspect to it as well. Really partnering with owners or people that are playing the game regularly and very reputable inside the game. And we think that'll be really fun as well to kind of explore how players recruit for supporting their items.
That's right. Um, and one of your recent sticker drops is actually the inflatable social hub. And I
Mhm.
really love that part. Like, I really love that part of the simulation, like being in a community, just like what you mentioned. So, what do you think would be the benefits of being in one of Colonize Mars official community? Like, what is the vision for the different and diverse colonies that we have right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big part of the end game that we see is people, working in groups and communities as we continue to expand throughout Mars. So I think it's going to be a really key part of when we actually go to Mars. It's going to be important for groups to work well together to solve problems with limited resources, and so the communities will really are meant to simulate that. So when you join a
Mhm.
community, right now there's various ones. ZFT is one, which is awesome. There's a few
Yes.
more that have different specializations and different ambitions, and we think certain communities will specialize in certain um, parts of the Martian economy. So
Mhm.
maybe specializing in producing food or fuel or maintaining items. And but one of the first things we're going to do is just simply, if you're part of a community, you'll have probably some more beneficial fees and rates when supporting items. So a community
Mhm.
can kind of that owns an ownership card will have, and if you're part of that same community, you'll have the ability to almost like discount your fee, and basically have a little bit more of like a benefit of joining that community and supporting that item. And then over time, there will be even more ways to customize and more features that we're going to add, and even potentially have things on the map that can represent communities that are
That's
more
great.
persistent. And we think
Yeah.
that'll be really fun, and people would enjoy kind of seeing their flag or their patch on something that's um, you know everyone else can see.
Yes, that's true. It's like just like in a real mission. Like we are really hyped actually that one of the astronauts is actually a Filipina.
Mhm.
And for those of you who are already in the game, you probably know her name is Miti Mabaya. And just a fun fact, Miti actually means ambition in our language, and Mabaya is a Vatan. It's a dialect from one of the indigenous people of the northern Philippines, and it means red. So Miti Mabaya actually technically means ambition to the red planet. So
Yeah, it's
it
an
would be
awesome
fun to
name.
like just like put the Philippine flag out there.
Absolutely.
Um, that's really exciting. Um, okay, so as well as you're very well aware, it is a very fast-paced world, NFTs right now, especially the play to earn space. Like, how do you think Colonize Mars can compete in this fast-paced world? And we know very much what makes your project unique, but what do you think makes Colonize Mars project really stand out and really unique?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first thing is that we're kind of establishing a brand that's around quality and just really high, just really nice artwork and a strong vision and a strong concept
Mm,
around what Mars can be, and using this blockchain chain technology to almost allow players to start um, forming their own legacy on what on Mars. I mean, if you think about the timeline that we're creating, early players and early collectors who are interacting with the game, those actions will be written to the blockchain and remembered forever. So
that's
you're
great.
sort of in a way being a pioneer and a founder of the Martian civilization, and
Mhm.
that's a I think a really cool way to use blockchain technology, and I think it's pretty unique. We're really trying to take the approach of this game's about inspiring people around Mars. So for us, the
Mhm.
concept is really strong, and that's what we've always really leaned into. And I think that that helps us stand out a lot, just because of um, the quality and the depth, I guess, of thinking. Whether it's the architectural approach, the way that we're designing everything in house, you definitely won't find this artwork anywhere else. It's stuff that is very unique, and we think that's great as well. Yeah, and I guess there's just going off that for a little bit. Our goal is to have kind of a multi-year roadmap and a long vision. So for what we're doing, it does take time for us
Yes.
to build a game that really has quality, that has the visual fidelity we need, the foundation of the engineering. um, we've only been around since, I mean, April was our first launch, so it's
That's
really
right.
been less than a year, and we've already been
That's
able
right.
to launch our own token, get staking, gameplay in, entire 3D map. Um, we've designed, I believe, around 20 different item types now, so we have a lot more slated for next year. Um, so it's definitely like our team has been working like crazy. We have about 10 full-time people, and then about 6 to 8 part-time people working, all the time on this. So
Mhm.
it's I think we have a really strong foundation that we're really looking forward to growing next year and continuing to build this out.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess in this industry, which is pretty, I guess it's still pretty relevantly new for most of us. Like we understand early on that you need to have a strong team, a strong culture, and a solid community to back you up. And that's definitely what Colonize Mars has been demonstrating. It's really just a bonus that the artwork is so beautiful. Like I've seen some Filipinos actually printed it out. I'm not kidding. Printed it out and put it in a frame and hang it somewhere. I saw it on Facebook and I was like, I know that artwork.
That's
So I
awesome.
was like, that's really cute. Okay. So well, it's already December and 2022 is almost here. What should we look forward to in 2022 for Colonize Mars?
Yeah, so right now, if you log into Mars Cards, you'll see a lot of interface heavy, strategy and gameplay. We're looking to get more into developing our 3D map, which I think is a really key part of exploring some of the objects and some of the items that are portrayed through artwork. So I would definitely look forward to that, making it more of an immersive experience so that people can really get up close and see
Yeah.
some of our cool 3D models.
Oh,
And
that would be
we want
fun.
it to be a place where people come every day to check in on what the city looks like,
Yeah.
perhaps see the different weather patterns and day night cycle to affect how
Mhm.
things look. And we want it to be a very beautiful experience. So I think
Mhm.
that's going to be something to look forward to for next year. We're staffing for that right now. And
Mhm.
then we also have some of these gameplay features coming that are going to add more strategic and dynamic elements to the way that people can play and earn our in-game
Mhm.
currency and also earn some of the in-game resources. There'll also be, some player progression. We're going to increase our uh, the leaderboards and some of the intricacies there. There's going to be more cards coming, more items coming to the
Mhm.
map, and yeah, I mean the list goes on and on. We have a lot planned. It's going to be a whirlwind of a year, but we're ready to go.
Yeah, and so you mentioned about immersive experience. That's really great. So for those of you who are already in the game and are like avid gamers, you need to intentionally build your collection, right? To provide boosts to your martial generation, to experience gain, and of course, from time to time, you get those exciting bonuses. If you're not yet part of Colonize Mars official Discord group, please hop on now because it's pretty really exciting. And if you haven't stocked up on your Marsha or even visited the website, now is the perfect time to join one of the hottest new blockchain games on Wax. Okay, so there will be new astronaut and equipment NFTs, as Hunter mentioned, and it's coming on December 20th at 5 p.m. UTC. So that's 1 a.m. at Philippine time at Mars.card. So guys, stack your Marsha, pop on some crates on Monday because they're gonna be hot. And let us colonize Mars together. Now, before we actually conclude this session with you, Hunter, we are really grateful for your time. But is there anything that you would like to say to our Filipino community, or for those who are just really looking into maybe joining into Colonize Mars? Maybe this is gonna be their first exposure to an NFT game. Like, is there anything that you would like to share with them?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to you and everyone at ZFT, and it's awesome to see how much engagement there is with the community, and I really appreciate it. The whole team appreciates it, and I think it's a key part in us making this project as great as it can be. So thank you for that. I've also just mentioned the sale, the way it's going to work, just for those who don't know. Uh,
Oh
we're do,
yes.
we're doing something really cool with this sale, which is there's going to be a portion of the NFT packs available exclusively for our Marsha token. So that's a brand new feature that we're launching, and the intention is that next year we'll continue to lean into in-game items that players can purchase. So this is
Yeah.
really our first test of this system, and that's what's going to be going live on December 20th at 5 p.m. UTC, or 1 a.m. your time. And then once those crates, it's going to be a Dutch auction. It's going to be about an hour long. There's
Mhm.
details on Medium about how it works specifically. But
Yeah.
then the next day, about 24 hours after that, at 5 p.m. UTC on the 21st, on Tuesday, then we'll transition the rest of the crates to Wax, to Atomic Hub to be sold for
Mhm.
Wax.
Yeah.
So even if you don't have Marsha, you'll still have an opportunity to purchase crates for this Mission 3 release. And
Mhm.
again, all these items are exclusive artwork for Mission 3. So it's a perfect time to jump in if you haven't collected any cards, or if you want to expand your collection with brand new artwork. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's right. So if you want to get into the exclusive crafting event, make sure that you have a complete set of your Mission 1 cards. Just a reminder to everybody. All right. Well, Hunter, thank you so much for your time. And we are really excited for Mission 3, and we are looking forward to those crates. I am really excited for the Dark Matter one. Hashtag ownership card cutie for everyone. And we really wish you the best and have a wonderful day. Enjoy your coffee.
Awesome.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank
See
you,
ya.
Hunter. Thank you, everyone.